Hello, today I'm going to do a little mini squat row in standing on the reformer. I have my long box here set up horizontally, and for safety purposes, I'm actually going to take these weights and put them on the long box, and that's going to help me from keeping the long box to slip off the edge, okay? I have my extra platform on the long box as well, so if the long box does slip, it's not going to fly into the carriage well. If you don't have an extra platform, obviously you can't use that, but you do want to make sure you have some weights that you can put on the long box, some pretty heavy weights so that you don't end up pushing the long box off and slipping out, okay? And in this exercise, I'm just going to start myself off. I have one blue spring on. I could use a red if I want something a little heavier. I'm going to be sitting at the edge of the long box, and this is essentially a standing mini split squat row. So for my row, I'm just going to grab up by the knots, and the row is pretty simple. I exhale and pull back, feel the shoulder blades come together, and inhale as the shoulder blades come apart. So I exhale as I pull because I'm exhaling on effort. Sometimes people like to inhale as they pull. Your choice, okay? I like to exhale on the effort. That helps me to engage the core. So that's what the upper body is going to be doing. The lower body, this is where it gets a little tricky, so we're working on some balance and some glutes. I'm going to stand up so that my heels are right at the edge of the long box, and then I'm actually going to get myself into kind of this little squat position. And you notice how my core is engaged, my chest is up, collarbone's broad, and I'm really shining my sit bones, like I'm flaring my sit bones out. The position for the exercise is starting in this position with both my heels against the long box. I'm going to bring one foot up into a little kickstand. And the foot that's in a kickstand, I want to kind of sit back into the opposite glute. So I'm still keeping my sit bones, or pardon me, my hip points pointing straight forward. My sit bones are flaring out, but I'm sitting back into my right hip a little bit. I'll do the left side so you can see if I had jeans on, the pocket of my jeans would be really stretched out, okay? So I want to keep myself really core supported and upright, and I'm just going to add a row. Now, if I get sloppy in this, I could push the long box off, okay? So that's why we have the weights on the long box, is to help to keep us safe so we don't fly off, all right? And it does require some strength. I would start, if you're not familiar with this exercise, I would start in like a tall kneeling position and get your balance, which we could go over that in another video. But I would not start with this if you're not familiar with the exercise and being able to do just even a split squat, okay? So I'm gonna start with my heels against the box. I've grabbed up, I've crossed my ropes, I've grabbed up by the knots. I'm gonna stand up slowly, and once I stand, I can pull. So right now, the ropes are helping to keep me upright. If I pull too much, I'm going to fly over backwards. So I don't want to do that. And now in this position, I squat down a little bit. I want to shine both my sit bones back, like I'm spreading my sit bones apart, and my hip points are pointing both straight forward. And then I'm going to shift just a little weight onto my right and bring that left foot into a kickstand. So I have my left heel lightly against the box. Chest up, I'm sitting back into the right hip, and then I exhale and slowly pull, and then I have to really control it as it goes forward. In other words, I have to keep my body a little forward with my core engaged and my chest up to really control what's going on. Otherwise, I'm going to fly forward into this well of the reformer, and I don't want that. I'm just going to switch, so I'm down in my little squat. I shift my weight to the left, right foot goes into a little high heel. My right heel is against the box. I'm sitting back into the left hip. Exhale, pull. Inhale, slowly go forward. So as I let the ropes go forward, I have to stay sitting back into that hip. Shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades apart. Exhale, pull. Shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades apart. And that's the exercise. To dismount, I just uncrossed, I put both heels against the box, and I slowly sit down. So again, you want to be careful with your balance, but this exercise is really good for building strength and endurance in your quads, your glutes, your core, and it's great for shoulder and scapular mobility.